My husband is the most powerful miracle doctor in the world. He has a junior sister who is the best at making drugs. The two of you poisoned me and I understand, and they have been lively for more than 10 years. Until I was poisoned and almost died. When he woke up, he sighed while writing the prescription. Don't blame Ake, she is just childish, and she doesn't mean to harm you. She knows that I can save you, so she deliberately gets angry with me. As soon as he finished speaking, he was hurriedly called by Shinka's people. He walked so hastily that he didn't even find a medicine in the prescription. The long-lost system was finally triggered. You can go home only if you die in the hands of the male protagonist, and the antidote becomes poison if it goes wrong, and the host can choose whether to take it or not. I handed the recipe to the girl and smiled, take it and fry it. When Wei Yanji came back, the girl had just brought over the boiled medicine. The steaming medicinal juice filled his face. He took off his robe and smiled at me. What a coincidence, but waiting for me to feed you. As he spoke, he took the medicine and walked towards me, skillfully scooped up a spoonful and blew it to my mouth. I looked at it in a daze, and after waiting for so many years, I could finally go back. Seeing that I didn't move, he raised his eyebrows slightly. What's wrong? This medicine works best when drunk hot. I smiled silently, reached out to take the medicine bowl, raised my head and drank it all. Sue drank too quickly, choking on me and coughing. Wei Yanji patted me on the back distressfully, and laughed. What are you in such a hurry for? And no one is going to grab it from you. Why are you so good today? Don't you make a fuss about asking me to feed you. I sat up straight and pulled the corner of my mouth. No, I won't use it in the future. He was slightly stunned, his face gradually darkened, and his voice was slightly deep. Are you still angry with Ake? He sighed and stretched out his hand to hug me. She's just childish, her nature is not bad, since you're fine, don't worry about her, right? I avoided him without leaving a trace, and my voice was faint. What if something really happens to me? He was stunned, then shook his head helplessly, and laughed dumbly. With me, how is it possible? Yes, my husband is the most powerful miracle doctor in the world, and there is no poison that he cannot solve. Shinka has poisoned me for so many years, from blindness to loss of voice, to rash and diarrhea, which can always be easily cured by Wei Yanji. This time, how could there be an exception? He looked at me, with a faint smile flashing in his peach blossom eyes, looking like he was indulging and pampering. It was as if my suffering was nothing more than a farce for him. How did it become like this? At first, he obviously cared about it. At that time, we were newly married in Jena, and Shinka had baby's breath in my drink, and I had a rash all over my body and itched badly. Wei Yanji was furious, and after detoxifying me, he carried a sword and wanted to cut off contact with Shinka. But within 3 days, he was defeated by her tearful offensive. Shinka is hanging on the beam. When he arrived, she kicked over her stool and had red marks on her neck. Wei Yanji hugged her in shock and fear, guilty and distressed. She felt uncomfortable, but she just wanted to vent a thing or two. It is not intended to poison you. Ah Qiao, forget about this. When he came back, he rubbed his eyebrows tiredly and told me. Only then did I know that he and Shinka had made a marriage contract. He promised her that if he still didn't have someone he liked at the age of 20, he would marry her. Unfortunately, on my 20th birthday, he met me and fell in love at first sight. Shinka was crazy and noisy. He sent people to southern Xinjiang, bent on marrying me. Speaking of which, I'm sorry for her. Ah Qiao, you and I are husband and wife, so let's let her too, okay? Since then, I have retreated, and to this day, she has given me a deadly poison. The system said that Wei Yanji has me in his heart. If I am reluctant to let him find out that the prescription is wrong, he must be very guilty and desperately make up for my love for me. I shook my head speechlessly. What do I want his guilt to do? And it's not something valuable. But host, haven't you given up on returning to modern times? I was silent. Yes, Wei Yanji treated me very well, which made me feel that the task of dying at his hands could not be completed at all, and there was no one in the family to care about, so it was better to stay with him. I have forgotten, people's hearts are changeable, and old friends are hard to find. No, I'll go home. It's only a month of medicinal soup, I can afford to wait. 3. Shinku is coming to apologize to me. I subconsciously refused, no need. Every time she comes over, nothing good will happen. Wei Yanji held my hand and said tenderly, how can I not use it, you are my first wife, and I can't always make you feel wronged. I lowered my eyes, if I had been moved in the past, but now I only feel disgusted. People say that Wei Shini hangs a pot to help the world, and it is the style of a gentleman to treat both dignitaries and the poor people equally. Even if it is a private matter at home, he is a bowl of water, right and wrong, and he will not be criticized by others. Unfortunately, he wanted to live up to the Tathagata, and in the end he painted a tiger, and did not become an anti-dog. Shinku toasted me with a glass of wine. The fruit wine made from peach blossoms is fragrant and looks intoxicating. I didn't answer. I am allergic to peach blossoms, Wei Yanji knows. Presumably Shinku also knows it, after all, the baby's breath that made me rash at the beginning added peach blossoms. Wei Yanji winked at me, drink it quickly, don't worry, I have prepared the antidote, and I will not make you suffer. Be good, she was forced by me to compensate you, it's normal to be a little petty in her heart, since she promised to apologize, don't care about these details. I smiled clearly, took the peach blossom wine, and in his relieved eyes, I raised my hand and splashed it. The wine dripped down the top of Shinku's head, mixed with her unbelievable eyes, which was very embarrassing. Wei Yanji stood up abruptly and looked at me, his always warm face instantly turned blue. Maybe I'm leaving, my mood is smooth, and I don't want to suffer the grievances of the past anymore. I smiled shallowly, I said it earlier, I don't need to apologize. Next time, this kind of whitewashing of peace, everyone is happy, don't call me again. For Wei Yanji slammed the door and left. He lost his temper and did not come back for several days. In the evening, the girl brought me medicine as usual, and I wanted to talk but stopped. When I finished drinking, I finally spoke, Madam, although the master and others have not replied, he sent someone to tell me every day to watch my wife drink medicine. He said that Miss Shin's poison is domineering, and the antidote must not be drunk for a day, and I must keep an eye on you. The girl's face was complicated, Madam, the master is still thinking of you in his heart. I tugged at the corners of my lips. It turns out that he is so afraid of me dying. I really don't know what kind of expression he had when he found out that the prescription he wrote poisoned me with his own hands. Ahem. I wanted to laugh, but I coughed up a mouthful of blood. The wooden table was scarlet, the girl was startled, her eyes darkened, and I fainted. Yes, several poisons are mixed together, and my body is getting worse and worse, I'm afraid I won't be able to last even a month. When I woke up, it was already dark. Under the candlelight, Wei Yanji's face was full of anxiety, and he was about to reach out to check my pulse. He was dusty, his clothes were dusty, and he looked like he had just returned. Caught off guard and met my eyes that had just opened, he was stunned, and quickly pursed his lips and withdrew his hand, looking ugly. Hui Yunxiao, when did you learn this trick? I just said that my antidote can't cure you, you want me to come back and just say it, why pretend to be unconscious? I stuffed my wrist back into the quilt, turned my back, and pushed it back without being salty. If you don't want to come, you can go back. It was so dangerous, just a little bit, and he was almost discovered. He choked, but his face became gentler. A hand climbed up my shoulder and said softly, okay, you still have a temper, how big is it? If you don't like it, I won't call her here in the future. Aren't you always talking about going to Jiangzhou, can I take you back in a few days? I moved and nodded. My adoptive parents are in Jiangzhou, and I always have to go back to see them before I go home. It's okay for him to escort me. 5. Unfortunately, he still couldn't accompany me. On the day of departure, a plague broke out in Liangcheng, and Wei Yanji was stopped in front of the carriage. He looked at me guiltily, Achiao, I smiled clearly, it's okay, you go. A few people bowed to me, saying, Madam, righteousness. I got into the carriage and didn't look back. Wei Yanji is a miracle doctor, and such things have happened a lot. I have never cared about my life. It is natural that human life is ahead of me. I never thought that everything could be in front of me, but Shinku could be in front of everything. Wei Yanji still went to Jiangzhou. When I arrived, he was in a hurry to test the medicine. He was a little embarrassed when he saw me, and sighed helplessly, "Ache, this girl is messing around, taking a few households to test the poison and being scolded in front of the court. I have to hurry up and make the antidote." "What about the plague?" I stared into his eyes. Wei Yanji hesitated. "Is there anyone else?" I knew that he didn't go to Liangqing at all. It is common for Shinku to test the people on drugs. She poisoned her, and Wei Yanji came to solve it, and it became a pleasure to go back and forth. It's not that I haven't persuaded him. Wei Yanji only pampered and smiled bitterly. "What can I do, my junior sister? I can only spoil it." That day, I learned that Dr. Wei, who had compassion for the common people, would also regard human life as a mustard for her. By the pond, I saw Shinku, who was festivizing the fish. She glanced at me defiantly and raised her chin. "Tell my sister that as long as I want to, my brother can come to me at any time." "Sister, has you written it now?" I closed my eyes. "Those are human lives." She raised her eyebrows. "So what?" "Senior brother said that no matter what mess, he will solve it for me. Besides, it's just some ants, and it is also their blessing to be able to let the senior brother heal him." I didn't answer. Sooner or later she will know that sooner or later these ants will cost her. I have already left evidence of what she did, and before I leave, I will send these to the emperor. 6. Wei Yanji was busy for a while and finally made an antidote. After treating the people, he went to the government to intercede for Shinku to eliminate the case. After doing all this, he finally remembered to find me. "Ake wants to visit Jiangzhou City. I'll take her there tomorrow. Do you want to go with me?" He looked at me with a smile on his face. I shook my head and refused. He was a little disappointed, but he was also relieved. I was going to buy it, but I didn't want to be with them. My sister-in-law is giving birth, and I am about to prepare some objects. Maybe Jiangzhou City is too small, and within half an hour, I met them. My brows furrowed slightly, and I raised my foot to leave. Does senior brother prefer boys or girls? What if I give birth to a brother who doesn't like it? My body stopped suddenly, and I turned my head stiffly. In front of the small window of the Golden Jade building, Shinku was gesturing with a few rose gold locks. Wei Yanji's face turned pale and he carefully covered her mouth. "What nonsense, beware of people hearing it." Shinku muttered, "What are you afraid of? Sooner or later I will let her know." Blood rushed to the top of my head, and I was almost unsteady on my feet. It turned out that Shinku and I apologized to the day, and the two of them had a gossip. Shinku poisoned himself, and only the body could solve it. One is passionate, and the other is half-pushed. Wei Yanji hesitated and said, "Wait a minute, let me think about how to talk to Aqiao." I couldn't hold back any longer and almost left as if I were running away. After returning to the room, the circles under his eyes were still red. I thought I was hard-hearted enough to not want so many years of relationship. How could I forget it? The mouth overflowed with fishy sweetness. I wiped the corners of my lips and vomited blood again, and my stomach also throbbed. The sleeping system suddenly woke up. Host, good news, if you take another bowl of medicine today, you will be terminally ill, and the Deluo Immortal will not be able to save you. You don't have to worry about being discovered by the male protagonist anymore." I took the handkerchief and smiled. Yes, that's really good news. After dinner, Wei Yanji came back. He leaned in front of me, his eyes worried. "But where is the discomfort? Why is your face not so good?" "I don't want to get out of bed." "It's okay, maybe you haven't taken the medicine yet." "Why is today's medicine so slow? I'll go take a look." I was slightly startled and was about to stop him, when I saw Chior coming over with medicine. I breathed a sigh of relief, and Wei Yanji smiled as he took it. "This medicine is a bit bitter, don't be lazy, but it's a life-saving medicine. Come on, I'll feed you this time." I didn't snatch it, but let him feed it one bite at a time. Wei Yanji, this last poison that killed me was fed to me by your own hands. 7. I slept very deeply, dreaming of returning to modern times for a while, and dreaming of the days when I was good with Wei Yan. After waking up, Wei Yanji was not around. I didn't ask too much, and after eating, I was ready to see my adoptive parents. Just as he was about to go out of the second gate, he heard Shinka shouting angrily, Wait, how long do you want me to wait? Are you so afraid of Huiyinxia? You clearly promised me not to touch the child before she was born. I saw you come out of her room with my own eyes, and you kissed her. Wei Yanji's face turned blue and white, and he lowered his voice. I told you that she has not been in good health recently, can't you wait for her to detoxify? I will definitely give you an explanation in a month at the latest. I tugged at the corners of my mouth, thinking it was funny. What difference does it make if it was earlier or later? So I lifted my foot and walked out. It doesn't have to be a month, just now. Wei Yanji turned around suddenly, and his handsome face turned pale instantly. Aho, in the study, the eyes met. Wei Yanji looked at me with uneasy eyes. That night. It was an accident. Ake is poisoned, she will die if I don't save her, Aqiao. I can't help it, I can't watch her die in front of me. Later, it was too late for me to stay away from her, she had a body, after all, she was my flesh and blood, Aqiao. I can't bear it. He is always embarrassed, he is always helpless, he is always excusable. He has so many reasons, but I don't want to listen to it anymore. Tell me, a noble concubine, or a flat wife? He was slightly stunned. I repeated calmly and then said, or, if you want me to give up my position to be her wife, it's not impossible. He panicked and wanted to take my hand. How is it possible, Aqiao? The position of the wife will always be yours. I promise that even if Ake enters the door, he will not be able to surpass you. Hooked my lips and I smiled. It seems that it is a flat wife. Okay. His eyes widened in surprise, and his eyes burst out with light. Aqiao, did you agree? I smiled and nodded. In the future, whoever you want to marry and love, I will never stop you again. He breathed a sigh of relief, stretched out his hand to hug me, and his voice seemed to be choked. I knew that Aqiao was the most virtuous and generous, and he wouldn't blame me. You know, I feel ashamed in my heart. I can't eat or sleep well these days, and I think about how to explain it to you, and people have lost weight. Aqiao, you have to help me make up for it. I felt nauseous, so I pushed the person away calmly. Okay, go and explain it to your little junior sister. 8. Because of the pregnancy, the date of marriage is very close. But after more than a month, Shinku entered the door. Relying on the flesh and bones in her belly, she became more and more pampered. Every time in front of Wei Yanji, he has to compete with me. As big as my yard, as small as a hosta, she has to compete with me. Whenever Wei Yanji hesitated, she cried and made trouble, saying that she was not a human being, and was going to leave her child. She is worried and insecure during pregnancy, and there are just some objects left and right. Aqiao, don't worry. Wei Yanji comforted me like this. Naturally, I didn't care. I couldn't take these with me if I left, so I simply moved to the side courtyard and changed to a clean one. But I didn't expect it to be so difficult to even be clean. Shinku fell into the water in front of me. When Wei Yanji arrived, she was fluttering in the water. It was easy to save people ashore. Shinku hugged her stomach and cried that I had harmed her. Naked and blatantly framed. I want to laugh but I can't. Wei Yanji stared at me intently, as if he wanted to see through a hole. He cares about this child very much, I know, and Shinku knows it too. In the bedroom, he paced with his hands on his back, his face was ugly. I didn't explain and I didn't want to. After a long time, he stopped, his dark eyes darkened, and his voice hoarse. I know you didn't do it. Aqiao, you are my wife, how can I not know your temperament? You never disdained to do such a thing. I raised my eyebrows, and the warmth that had disappeared for a long time surged up a little. But the next moment, it was completely cold. But she used her pregnancy to frame you, proving that she is really afraid of you. Xiao, you apologize to her, you let her. I laughed, almost burst into tears. Wei Yanji, are you sick? He closed his eyes and sighed deeply. I know I'm sorry for you, but Xiao, I can't help it, she is making a fuss about you paying the price. What price? After hesitating for a moment, he looked away. She said that as long as you take the abortion medicine, this matter will be forgotten, and she will no longer pursue it. As he spoke, he looked at me again, his eyes eager. Little Tiger bot file anti-piracy, find, book, machine, tool selection small tiger, stable and reliable, do not step on pit. Xiao, your body can't be pregnant for a long time, even if you drink it, it's okay, you should coax her, okay. My heart was cold and I tugged at the corners of my mouth. Wei Yanji, you know why I can't get pregnant. It's been so long that I almost forgot that I was pregnant with a child. Unfortunately, in less than a month it was shed. The reason is that the bowl of peach blossoms is made of baby's breath. That rash did not ruin my appearance, but it shed my child and eliminated the possibility of me having children again. I know, I'm sorry for you. He lowered his head in frustration, his fingers on the table turned white, and he looked extremely struggling and painful inside. Only then did I notice that in the days after Shinka married into the door, he was much more haggard. Wei Yanji took a deep breath and looked at me persistently again. Xiao, she was born reckless and ignorant, but you are different, you are knowledgeable, virtuous, gentle, and the most understanding. You can't be pregnant anymore, I can't watch her mess around and toss this child away. Just this time, as long as you follow her this time, she promised me to take good care of my body in the future and never embarrass you again. Xiao, just treat me as if I beg you, okay, in the future, her child will also be your child, you will treat it as your own flesh and blood. Snap. I couldn't listen anymore, and a slap in the face stopped him from saying the next words. I approached him and said word by word, Wei Yanji, you make me feel sick. 9 didn't get the results he wanted, Shinka cried and made trouble, and the things in the yard fell to pieces. In order to coax her, Wei Yanji told her that I could no longer be pregnant, but he failed to make her happy. I don't believe it, senior brother, you lied to me, you just like that bitch Hui Yunxiao. You just don't want to give her a sterilization medicine, you obviously just want her child and don't want me. Shinka was hysterical and beat his stomach hard. Wei Yanji was shocked and frightened, and hurriedly hugged her and whispered to coax her. There was another period of chaos. When Xiaoer came to tell me about these things, I was taking painkillers. Sue is approaching, the poison is getting faster and faster, and sometimes it hurts, it's terrible. I swallowed the pill and my stomach loosened a little faster. Feeling the pain slowly relieve, I squeezed out a faint smile. Look, some are making trouble. Shinka's temperament is arrogant and domineering, and he is extremely possessive, and he can still restrain himself a little when he doesn't get it, and now he gets it even more revealed. She tossed like this, I am afraid that not only Wei Yanji can't bear it, but it is still unknown whether she can keep her pregnancy. Sure enough, within a few days, Wei Yanji came to look for me. Under the eaves, he looked gloomy, and his whole body lost a few circles in a short period of time. He looked at me, there was no joy or sorrow in his eyes, and he said, Ake's child is gone. I raised my eyes, non-committal. Are you satisfied, Joe? His voice was faint, but I could hear the storm of forbearance. I didn't answer. The next moment, he punched the door frame, his black eyes were red, almost bleeding, and he looked at me with hatred and anger. Hui Yunxiao, when did you become so cold-blooded and ruthless? If you didn't want to apologize, how could Ake become what he is today, and how could he abort the child? At this point, don't you even have the slightest sense of guilt? Only then did I know that he attributed Shinka's miscarriage to me. I laughed angrily. I wonder if when I had a miscarriage, could Divine Dr. Wei ask your good junior sister if she felt guilty and unbearable? She is unintentional. Arguments that almost blurted out. She's ignorant, aren't you sensible? After saying that, as if realizing something, he waved his hand, looking frustrated, and staggered back a step. That's it, it's useless to say this. I will accompany Ake well during this time. Don't go to the front yard to stimulate her if you have nothing to do. I will come to see you when she is well, you can take care of yourself. 10 Wei Yanji did what he said, and he never entered my yard again. I heard that under his careful care, Shunku slowly got better, and his mood gradually stabilized. On the other hand, my illness is getting worse and worse, and my blood color is getting less and less. Chiao was happy and worried. Mrs. Shin is in good health, and it is time for the miracle doctor to come to see the lady. I smiled and didn't speak. The left and right, like the system said, now the Deluo immortal can't save me, and it doesn't matter if Wei Yanji discovers it. Finally, the day after Chiao finished speaking, Wei Yanji came over. But he didn't come to diagnose me, but to send me to prison. Aches poisoning of the people in Jiangzhou was discovered, and I was also accused of not going to Liangqing to treat the plague, and now the saint summons. She just can't stand the stimulation. I have already asked someone to report to Jiangzhou that you did it. Anyway, the people also know that I was going to escort you to Jiangzhou Aqiao. As long as you replace Aka this time, I will never pursue all the past things again, okay? He looked at me with a complicated expression. As dawn broke, the fog passed through his face, and I felt like I recognized the person in front of me for the first time. The surprise when we first met, the tenderness and honey under the begonia tree, the oath of the bridal chamber candles, all kinds of past flashed in my mind one by one, and finally fixed on this cold and ruthless face. I suddenly remembered that I shouldn't have accepted the begonia flower under Hopeless Mountain. No, it will be wrong for many years. After a long time, I heard my voice, okay. I didn't expect my promise to be so readily. He was stunned for a moment and nodded. It's best if you can figure it out. Don't worry, you are my wife, they won't do anything to you, at most. He pursed his lips and said nothing more. Also, Divine Dr. Wei is a guest of honor on the Queen Mother's seat, so naturally they won't do anything to his wife, at most, that is, a few days in prison. In exchange, I asked for a whole jar of painkillers. He was a little nervous and asked me where the pain was. My perfunctory curled lips, heartache. He was silent and lowered his head. I smiled sarcastically and passed by him. Lie to you. Marrying you is the thing I regret the most in my life. The figure beside him suddenly stiffened. 11 On the day I went to the capital, I took away not only the pills but also a brocade box. Here, we collect what Shunku and Wei Yanji have done over the years. Today's Empress Dowager favors Wei Yanji, but the Son of Heaven is not a good person to get along with. If he knows that these two people are playing with the lives of the people, he will definitely not spare them. All I have to do is bring these to the Emperor. This is also the reason why I promised Wei Yanji. Things are going well. The only accident was the painkiller. Wei Yanji lied to me. The medicine jar was not a painkiller pill, but a spring breeze pill used for sexual intercourse. So when the Emperor asked me what I wanted, I asked for a painkiller prescription from the Thai hospital. The poisonous outbreaks are becoming more and more frequent, and the pain appears from time to time, which almost makes me want to return to the West immediately. My face was as pale as paper, and I even went out to grab medicine to cover my face with a curtain, only to intimidate passers-by. Shunku appeared at this time. She smiled and pointed to the medicine in my hand, and turned around cheerfully and shouted, "Husband, I found it. What is the show crows here?" She is much plump, and her complexion is rosier than before. It seems that I am not here. She is really doing well. Following her shouting, Wei Yanji strode over, glanced at it and smiled. I'm messing around again. I didn't see that this girl has already bought it. Shunku shook his arm pitifully and muttered, I don't care, people want this. Wei Yanji sighed, scraped her nose helplessly, turned around and bowed to me to the end. Humble Jing needs this Hishowu medicine. I don't know if this lady can cut off her love. If the lady wants, she can pay double the price. The figure of the old man overlapped with the person in front of me, and I vaguely remembered that he had also asked others for me in the same way. At the moment, the person who was asked was me. I smiled faintly. My hoarse voice was not very nice. What if I say no? Wei Yanji's figure paused suddenly. Chiao appeared at the right time and ran to me anxiously. Madam, why did you come to buy medicine alone, but let me find it easily? Wei Yanji moved his gaze to her, and soon returned to me. his voice trembling slightly, "Achiao." The curtain fence fell, revealing my pale face. What does Divine Dr. Wei mean by this? And he wants to rob me of my things and give them away. He was slightly startled and just wanted to say no. Touching Shinko's eye-catching appearance, he pursed his lips and said, "You don't understand medicine or poison. What do you want He Shou Wu to do?" I sneered, "What does it have to do with you?" I haven't asked Divine Dr. Wei yet. When did the painkiller pills in this medicine jar become an aphrodisiac? I took a small jar out of my sleeve and threw it on the table. Wei Yanji's face was a little embarrassed. He turned his head away and said dryly, "It's Ake who is naughty, secretly changed the medicine. I thought it was okay for you to take painkillers, so I didn't ask." Shinko also came over, curiously went to open the medicine jar, and smiled. "What does my sister do with such a grand atmosphere? It's just a thing to help my sister have fun." It's Shinko again. Thinking that the pain of these days was all given by her, a strong boredom suddenly surged in my heart. I don't know where the strength came from, so I grabbed the pill and pinched her chin and poured it down. "Okay, I'll give you some entertainment." She was forced to swallow a few and choked on coughing. Wei Yanji pulled me aside and looked at me in disbelief. "Hui Yunxiao, are you crazy?" Supported by Chiora, I can stand firm. I'm crazy. I should have gone crazy a long time ago. 12 The bag of He Shou Wu still didn't come back to me. And Wei Yanji, after disappearing for 3 days, finally came to see me. His eyes were dark and his steps were vain. It seems that those few spring breeze pills almost hollowed him out. A few steps away, he looked at me and coughed, as if he was a little distressed in his eyes. "Achiao, why are you so bad looking, but what grievances have you suffered in the palace? I can't rest assured about you. I originally wanted to come to the capital to find you, but Akefi wanted to follow me, saying that I wanted to make a new poison. That's why it's delayed." Seeing that I was silent, his eyes darkened, and then he said, "Since you left the palace safely, the previous things are not to blame, and the 3 of us will live a good life in the future." A few days after Ake's birthday, she was born in the countryside, and her birthday has never been held largely. I want to give her a big one, which can be regarded as confirming her identity as a flat wife. "Yunxiao, you bother to do 1 or 2, Ake will appreciate it." I was a little funny. Why should I let her appreciate it? Who am she? Why should I take care of her? Where did you get such a big face, Divine Dr. Wei? Unexpectedly, I refused so directly. Wei Yanji's face was swollen and red, and he was choked and speechless. I didn't mean to say anything more, took out a page of paper from my sleeve and spread it on the table and sighed, "Let's leave, Wei Yanji. If possible, I hope to completely cut ties with this person before leaving." Wei Yanji looked up and stared at the 3 words above in disbelief. "You want to leave me? Is it because of He Shou Wu? Or is it because of Ake's birthday banquet? Achiao, even you want to make trouble with me?" I had no intention of arguing with him, so I just grinded and handed over the pen, and said seriously, "You sign it, and you will know if I am in trouble." His face turned blue and white, and finally he threw off his sleeves without saying a word. 13 Wei Yanji lost his temper again. He took Shinko to live in the villa where I was and held a birthday banquet with great fanfare. The villa garden is very lively, but I am neglected here. The terrible thing is that there is no prescription for medicine, and my pain is even more difficult to endure. Chior tried to go out to buy medicine, but was driven back. The housekeeper coldly threw a sentence, "No one can go out without the permission of the lady." This lady refers to Shinko. Wei Yanji deliberately let her take charge of the house in order to be angry with me. When I rolled in pain, I asked the system when it would die. The system hesitated. "It should be soon." I sighed about the price of my stay in this world. Blood and tears made me recognize this lesson, and men can't believe it. Chior ran over crying and crying for some reason. "Master doesn't believe it. I said that the lady is dying. He said that the lady is making trouble. How can you die so well?" And said that you lied to him to pretend to be unconscious, saying that if you know your mistake, you will beg him in person, but the lady is too sick to get out of bed. As soon as the words fell, a figure followed, with a sneer. I want to see, is it true? The moment his eyes touched me, his gaze suddenly froze. How did you end up like this? I knew that it must have been my body that only had a skeleton that frightened him. His face was pale, his pupils constricted, and his fingertips trembled as he tried to put on my wrist. The pain was slowly decreasing, and I was probably going to die. I grinned and wanted to laugh, but I couldn't help but spew out a mouthful of blood. Wei Yanji's face was instantly messy, and the second before he closed his eyes, it was his face of horror and despair. It's so good, I can die now. The body floated in mid-air, and I saw wailing below. Wei Yanji hugged me, tossed and turned to diagnose my pulse, and kept muttering, "How can this happen? Obviously I have detoxified, how can this happen?" Chiao knelt on the ground and cried, "Madam used your prescription, not only did she not get better, but her condition worsened. I want to ask the master to take a look." Madam said it didn't matter. Wei Yanji bounced up suddenly, his eyes widened. "Prescription, where is the prescription?" Chiao took out a piece of dry yellow paper. "I am very careful to boil the medicine one by one, but the lady is still not good at whining." Wei Yanji's finger bones pinching the paper turned pale. He looked around at a loss, and muttered to himself, "No, how can there be a medicine missing? How can there be none?" Chiao was puzzled. "What is missing?" The muscles on Wei Yanji's face seemed to freeze. He suddenly knocked the paper on his face, cried on his back, and his voice was dry. "He Shou Wu 14." It turned out to be He Shou Wu. What a coincidence. I probably didn't die completely. The soul has been floating in mid-air, with no intention of returning to modern times. The system is not very happy. So it's a miracle, doctor, and the dead can be pulled back for 2 days. I'm also helpless, I won't really come back alive, right? The system shook his head firmly. "Impossible, at most 2 days, you will definitely lose your soul. No, your soul will return to modern times." "Okay, I'll wait a little longer. My body has probably become a living dead, breathing and swallowing, but I can't speak or move." Wei Yanji hugged me like a lost treasure. Although I didn't say a word, he didn't take the trouble to give me medicine and wipe my body. Kept talking to me, gentle and patient. "Ah Chiao, it's me who is bad, I am sorry for you, I will save you, you believe me. I fed you painkillers, you will never hurt again. He Shou Wu, I will come back." I also rewrote the prescription. This time the prescription is absolutely not wrong. If you don't believe me, take a look. He pulled out a brand new recipe and put it in front of me. My mouth was bitter, and I vomited it all on the prescription. His face turned pale, and he forced a smile to clean up and scrub. "It's okay, let's write a new one." Self-deception, it's boring. A servant came to report, saying that the lady was here. He instantly became angry. "What lady? Your lady is here." Shinku was stopped at the door, his eyes about to burst. "Senior brother, she is dead. Hui Yunxiao is dead, you can't save her." Wei Yanji looked at her in a daze, his eyes suddenly burst out with light. "It's you, it's all you. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have written less medicine, and Achia wouldn't have died. It's all your fault, it's all you. Achia has suffered so much, she hurts so much. If you have suffered this, Aho will be back when she is happy." I vaguely felt that something was wrong. It turns out that it is not true. Wei Yanji poisoned Shinku. Rash, aphasia, loss of voice, he gave Shinku all the hardships I had suffered. He hugged my body and looked at Shinku struggling expressionlessly. The mouth was coaxing. "Ah Chiao, look, I have avenged you, you can come back. Even if I float in mid-air, I feel chilled." Wei Yanji, he is probably crazy. As he spoke, he took the medicine and walked towards me, skillfully scooped up a spoonful and blew it to my mouth. The Yonglai system is right, Wei Yanji kept me for 2 days. 2 days later, a white light flashed and I returned to modern times. I forgot all about it and started a new life. Back in the 2nd year of the modern era, I heard the news brought by the system. After I left, Wei Yanji went completely crazy. He began to write prescriptions and pharmaceuticals day and night, and He Shou Wu wrote the most. When Shinku was taken away by the royal family, he was no longer in human form. Her and Wei Yanji's crimes were made public, and Xinke was sentenced to be beheaded in the autumn. Wei Yanji left a life because of the Empress Dowager's efforts, but because of his madness, he was never welcomed again. After the system finished speaking, he also said goodbye to me. The past is like a dream. I took a deep breath and shook off everything in my mind. The sun is just right, and it's a brand new day.